Like, in South Africa, my race is called colored. And it's a very...
I don't talk about Tyla because I don't want to bring attention to it because I know what they're doing to her. But when you think about the lyrics of that song, Water, and you think about her core fan base, which are girls between the age of 7 and 17. Can you blow my mind and set off my whole body? Make me sweat, make me hotter. Make me lose my breath, make me water. Why the f*** would that be coming out of 8-year-olds' mouth? And dancing and gyrating and trying to get a bump, bump, bump. Because that's all those kids that are watching her are doing. That's all they're doing. They're going to imitate everything that she does. Meanwhile, the local pedo who has a kid who are friends with a bunch of girls, 9, 10, 11 years old, inviting the girls over for pizza and watching.
It looks like Tyler just found herself drowning in even more drama after Jaguar Wright straight up called her out. What started as quiet whispers about Tyler being an industry plant perfectly placed in the spotlight for a certain audience has now blown up into something way darker and way more scandalous. Insiders are spilling tea that Tyler might not just be a plant, but could have allegedly signed a shady contract with some powerful figures pulling strings behind the curtain. According to Jaguar, she's not just a rising star, she's a pawn being used to influence and mislead young girls into messy situations nobody saw coming. And Jaguar pointed straight at Tyler's smash hit Water as the biggest red flag, with lyrics like, make me sweat, make me hotter, make me lose my breath, make me water. Jaguar said that tracks should have never been pushed so heavily at such a young audience. She went further, accusing Tyler's management of trying to pass her off as younger than she really is, branding her like some fresh-faced teen idol to reel-in teenagers, all while putting her in outfits that people online are calling way too suggestive. Fans are torn, with some saying the whole image feels fake, forced, and straight up uncomfortable.
Me on these debates that they be having about your identity as a South African colored person. What does that even mean?
Can we not? Por favor.
Oh, I like that. We keeping that in the interview too. I like when they talk from the back and say we can't. I like that. I like that. That's good. That's even better.
Next one, please.
That's even better.
Yo, stupid, yo.
Did you see Kevin?
And then comes the part that has everyone side-eyeing Tyler's success. How polished her come-up looks. Her rise was almost too perfect. Practically overnight, she exploded with Water. But it wasn't just the song, it was the rollout. The perfect timing, the TikTok-ready dance challenge, and the flawless marketing campaign all tied together like it had been manufactured step by step. People couldn't help but wonder, was this a genuine breakout or a carefully staged takeover? Was Tyler's rise really a natural come-up, or was it all carefully manufactured behind closed doors? Because let's be real, most international artists grind for years before even sniffing the US charts. They drop endless mixtapes, scrape together music videos on tiny budgets, and beg for collabs just to grab a little attention. But Tyler? The second Water hit the internet, it felt like the entire stage was already set for her.
That you're so young, but you have so many girls that look up to you, inspire to be you. Is that a weird feeling?
It is kind of weird because I remember being that person, and I'm still that person for people, but it's inspiring for me as well, knowing that I'm able to touch people and inspire people. You know, it sounds cheesy, but it's like amazing. It's an amazing feeling.
You have to watch the way you move too now. Do you move differently now? Dance move differently now? Do things differently because you know that young girls follow your dance routines, follow your steps, your movements and all that?
I'm just being myself, you know, with everything. When I perform, when I do anything, I'm just being myself. I'm showing my culture from home, and whoever likes it, whoever doesn't.
And then
Think about it. The catchy hook was tailor-made for TikTok. The sound matched every playlist trend. And even the choreography was polished and ready to go viral overnight. That's not the kind of luck most new artists stumble on. Fans started whispering if this was really organic success or a machine-made takeover served up like a corporate rollout. And honestly, the timing of it all was just too clean, too perfect, almost suspicious. That's exactly when the industry plant rumors started heating up. Because when someone moves with such precision, every box checked, every move flawless, people can't help but wonder if there's more going on behind the curtain. Is this true talent and timing, or a blueprint for stardom executed to perfection?
I said no.
Yeah.
And the reason I said no, they had 6 things they didn't want us to ask. You want to know what those 6 things were?
Yeah.
They didn't want us to ask about Kai Cenat. The whole "we friends" though thing.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
Okay.
They didn't want us to ask about her not being on tour with Chris Brown anymore. They didn't want us to ask about the color thing.
Injury.
They didn't want us to ask about her injury that she sustained. What else was it? They didn't want to ask us about who she was dating, which I wouldn't do anyway. And what was the other one? It was one it was just all frivolous
And
stuff.
why? What are they trying to do? They're trying to protect an image that they're curating for her?
I have no idea. And that's why I said...
Oh, but the Rihanna thing, compare.
Oh yeah, and comparison, and it wasn't even Rihanna, it just said comparisons to other pop artists. Huh?
Oh, so they're trying to separate her from Kai Cenat. She's her own individual. Don't tie her to him.
And you want me to not ask her about Kai Cenat the day after Kevin Hart just was on Kai Cenat's show again with
Bringing
a big
it up.
ass sign that said "we friends" though?
Yeah.
Like, come on, yo. So I said to them, no.
But here's where it gets even messier. That streak of success might already be running out of gas. Tyler's debut album shook the world, but her newest EP, We Wanna Party, is pulling in numbers so low, critics are starting to ask if the hype machine is breaking down. Back in March 2024, Tyler was unstoppable. Her self-titled album racked up a jaw-dropping 1 billion Spotify streams in just 3 months, then blew past 1.3 billion, snatching the crown as the most streamed female African project in U.S. history. The project even debuted at number 24 on the Billboard 200, selling 24,000 units in its first week. And the cherry on top? Tyler managed to outpace Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter, a feat that shocked everybody and had the internet in flames. Months later, Tyler pulled off a move that had the entire industry gasping. Before anyone could blink, she became the most streamed album by a Black female artist on Spotify in 2024, snatching 1.565 billion streams like it was nothing.
But let me just say this. Here's the problem. And it's not a Zeke problem. It's not a producer problem. It's a Tyler problem. It's her. Let me tell you why. You came to America and you in the Breakfast Club. The nigga, you got artists that would die to talk to Charlamagne, and you looking at your people because he asked you a question you want to answer. It don't work like that in America, baby. You can't hide from issues if you black. And what happened was she thought, see, here's what's really happening in America right now. The Africans that are coming here to get money are realizing what's happening is white people in the music industry brought in our African cousins. Like, says y'all niggas listen, I'm gonna bring in these y'all African cousins because they look alike to everybody, but they ain't got that sauce. They don't got it. They ain't got that hood. And I'm not saying this, but Tyla's also from, she's also from the same place that Elon Musk is from, right? So racism and all that shit, use where she is, but she had a chance to speak on it. And she did. And she looked at somebody else like, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. She said I'm not freaking black. Guess what?
On top of that, she secured a Grammy on her very first nomination, something most artists chase for decades but never touch. It should have been a fairy tale moment, but instead, it lit up the internet with a storm of backlash. The drama really erupted at the VMAs when Tyler hit the stage to collect her award for Best Afrobeats Video. Instead of basking in the glory, she casually handed the trophy to Halle and said it was too heavy for her to hold. That single moment had the internet dragging her like crazy. People were calling it disrespectful, saying she couldn't even fake gratitude while holding such a massive achievement in her hands. Fans didn't see a humble rising star, they saw someone acting arrogant and careless. But instead of smoothing things over, Tyler poured gasoline on the fire. She hopped online and fired back with a clapback that had people clutching their phones in disbelief.
Those are numbers. Here's what Tyler did wrong. And you know this, Brandon, on some industry. A hit is not a problem. Tyler can have water out right now. The people are not gonna with it because she has made it known that I'm here just to get money. I'm here not to be one of y'all. Even though they bunch me with y'all, let me separate myself from y'all. I'm different. And this is what the you get. And now the y'all that you don't want to be of is gonna be laughing, making jokes, all that because you didn't want to be one of us.
And I'm gonna keep it gangster too. You from South Africa. Nelson Mandela ain't down for you to come in here and say you ain't black. Straight up. He ain't sitting in jail for 30 years for that. So I understand why you sold 3.7. And PLP, not 37, 3.7 is what Tyla sold, my dude. You can't say she's Britney Spears, and that's what irritated me.
She needs to build her world. She needs to find her fan base. She's just a song right now. But remember I said this. She is a star, and she doesn't need to have the...
Y'all make everything weird. I was not asking my girl Hallie. We just girls. Mic drop. Shut the F up. I won a VMA. That post hit like a bomb. It came off dismissive, ungrateful, and way too cocky at the very moment she should have been celebrated. And just when the backlash couldn't get any worse, boom, an old interview resurfaced where Tyla casually described herself as colored. That word alone reopened a whole new controversy. Now here's the twist. Back home in South Africa, the word colored is actually an official ethnic classification used to describe people of mixed heritage. But in the US, that same word is tied to a painful history of segregation and oppression. To American ears, it sounded like a racial slur, and fans were not here for it, especially since the majority of Tyla's US fan base is young and black. The outrage hit her career like a brick wall. For many fans, it wasn't just a slip-up, it was another reason to turn away from her completely. And just like that, the superstar glow around Tyla started to dim faster than anyone expected. What really pushed fans over the edge wasn't just Tyla's slip-ups, it was her whole attitude afterward. Instead of showing even a little sensitivity, or at least acknowledging why people were so upset, she came off cold and dismissive. That careless vibe only poured more gas on the fire, leaving fans feeling disrespected and turning their backs on her completely.
Like, in South Africa, my race is called colored. And it's a very...
Tyla is not black. Let's talk about it. Race in the United States is not the same as in South Africa. That's why many Americans were shocked to find out Tyla doesn't identify as black. Blackness in America is defined by the one-drop rule, where having just one recent black ancestor and certain facial features gives you this distinction. But in South Africa, concepts of race were influenced by apartheid. So, while indigenous South African groups are considered black, and descendants of British and Dutch colonists are considered white, there's another group called colored. Colored refers to South Africans of mixed ethnicity, often descending from interracial couplings of black Africans and white settlers. This also included South Asians until the end of apartheid. Tyla falls into this category because some of her heritage is Indian, Mauritian, and Zulu. Colored communities in South Africa have a distinct culture that's different from other racial groups in the country. And even though apartheid ended, the way South Africa thinks about race is still the same, with this thinking still ingrained into culture today. So for Tyla, identifying as colored is a function of her heritage and the politics of her.
So when Tyla finally sat down with Charlemagne on The Breakfast Club, people thought this was her golden chance to clear the air. But the moment came, and instead of facing the controversy head-on, Tyla froze. She stayed silent, looking helpless while Charlemagne pressed her on the issue. And then, boom, her PR team swooped in with a strict no-comment strategy. That made her look even worse, like she couldn't even speak for herself. Fans said right then and there, she's not being real. And the damage? Already done. Word is Tyla's team even begged Charlemagne to cut that entire exchange out of the interview. But Charlemagne, being who he is, refused. As a black man himself, he admitted later he felt disrespected by her refusal to own up on such a sensitive subject. Instead of protecting her image, he kept it in. And once the interview aired, the internet exploded with clips dragging Tyla harder than ever. Charlemagne later exposed just how controlled that whole sit-down was. He claimed Tyla's team came rolling in with a full list of no-go topics, like a pre-flight checklist of what he wasn't allowed to touch. On that list, the viral Kai Cenat, we friends moment, any talk about why Tyla mysteriously dropped out of Chris Brown's tour, the resurfaced colored comments, even her injuries were apparently off limits. And it didn't stop there. The team allegedly demanded Charlemagne avoid comparing her to other pop stars altogether. No Rihanna parallels, no diva talk, no shade of any kind. But Charlemagne wasn't having it. He pushed anyway, and that's why fans got to see the unfiltered moment where Tyla's carefully polished image cracked wide open. Charlemagne admitted he flat out refused to be muzzled, saying straight up, if Tyla wasn't ready to face real questions, then maybe that interview shouldn't have happened at all. That honesty hit like a bombshell, and fans instantly sided with him, blasting Tyla for hiding behind her team instead of standing tall on her own. But what really stirred the pot? Tyla's most loyal South African fans. They rushed online to defend her, insisting she wasn't wrong for calling herself colored. But instead of calming the storm, it only made things worse. The defense highlighted the cultural divide because while the term has a different meaning back home, her American audience heard it in a painful, racially charged way. That clash turned the backlash nuclear. And just when it couldn't get any messier, Jaguar Wright jumped back in, throwing more fire on the blaze. She doubled down on her claims that Tyla is nothing but an industry plant, tied up in some shady secret contract with powerful execs who allegedly use her image to sway young audiences in questionable ways. Jaguar even went so far as to compare Tyla's supposed role to artists like Sexy Red, Lil Nas X, and Lizzo, framing it like part of a much bigger industry agenda meant to influence culture from the top down. Meanwhile, fans everywhere started weighing in heavy. Some argued that Tyla has already disrespected her biggest market, the African American community, and without their support, her U.S. career is doomed to crumble. Others clapped back, saying if South African fans want to defend her so badly, then maybe they should be the ones carrying her music to the top worldwide instead of expecting America to do the work. The divide is now crystal clear, and it's raising the question, can Tyla bounce back from this storm? Or has she already burned too many bridges in the market that first crowned her a global star? As the controversy kept snowballing, whispers in the industry turned into real consequences. Behind the scenes, several major brands that had once been circling Tyla for endorsement deals reportedly began backing away. A fashion collab that was supposed to roll out in summer quietly disappeared from the schedule, and insiders claim one beauty label that had already shot a campaign with her shelved the entire thing to avoid the backlash. The message was clear: Tyla's image was now a liability. And it wasn't just the brands. Festivals started to hesitate too. Rumors spread that she had been on the shortlist for a massive U.S. Summer Festival lineup, but organizers allegedly cut her name after the Breakfast Club interview went viral. Sponsors didn't want the baggage, and promoters didn't want to deal with a divided audience. Losing that kind of exposure was a huge blow, especially for an artist who had just been crowned Spotify royalty months earlier. Even other celebs began keeping their distance. A few artists who had previously shown support suddenly stopped posting about her, while others unfollowed her altogether. The most noticeable silence came from Halle herself, the same Halle who held Tyla's VMA trophy on stage. Fans noticed Halle didn't step in to defend Tyla during the backlash, and that silence spoke volumes. It made people wonder if even her industry peers were quietly backing away. Then came the rumors about touring. Tyla's name was supposed to pop up alongside a few major Afrobeat stars in a joint U.S. run. But word is promoters got cold feet. Ticket sales depend on audience trust. And after her controversial comments, that trust was fractured. Insiders whispered that artists didn't want to risk their own reputations by sharing the stage with someone surrounded by so much drama. All of this painted a picture of an artist who went from unstoppable momentum to a very fragile position in record time. The rise was picture perfect, but now the cracks in the foundation were showing, and everyone was watching to see if Tyla could withstand the pressure or if the industry would quietly close its doors on her. And let's be real, there were plenty of people who admitted they never felt comfortable with Tyla's image from the very start. From the way Water was rolled out like a perfect marketing stunt, to the way she's styled and branded to look younger than her actual age, right down to the whispers of her being spotted with some of the most controversial figures in the industry. It all rubbed fans the wrong way. Now the internet is split. Some say Tyla is just misunderstood, a young artist caught up in cultural differences and bad PR decisions. Others believe we're witnessing a full-on collapse of the so-called American dream she was sold to represent. With endorsements vanishing, tours slipping through her fingers, and peers staying silent, the pressure is stacking higher and higher. And then there's the bigger picture people keep pointing out. If Tyla really is tied to some secret industry agenda, what does that mean for the young fans who looked up to her? Was this ever about the music, or was she always part of something way more calculated? Those questions are haunting her every move, and the silence from her camp isn't making things better. So now the real question is, what do you think? Is Tyler the victim of a massive misunderstanding, or are we actually watching her career unravel right before our eyes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear what side you're on. And don't forget, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss the next update. Trust me, you're gonna want to stay locked in with Star Watch because the next video on your screen right now, oh, it's even messier than this one. Tap it and keep the drama rolling.